So I got to see the Kung Fu Panda full early. Yes, I did. Now I'm gonna get no spoilers here. don't worry about that. But I'm gonna give my thoughts on the movie itself, and also I want to talk about some other things as well, because this movie actually brought out a lot of things for me to realize about a lot of reviewing YouTubers as well, who's reviewed this movie as well. Now, I really want to spoil, but I'm not. So don't worry. But so, is the movie good? This movie is fantastic. I don't care what anybody says. This movie is absolutely fantastic. Now, as you see, there's been some panicking because, the old characters, let's say the classic ones and that, no, don't get shown in the trailer and stuff like that. Now, they do get mentioned. But this is all about really invested in a new character as well. I'm trying not to, that's why I'm just pausing between hand. So, the movie itself, I'll talk about the movie itself. So, it's about the Dragon Warrior, and it's like he has to pass the torch on to someone else, and as you see with this clip where you see there, the villain, that's who I want to talk about. This villain was absolutely fantastic. It brought things to another level in the franchise, I think, because it's a shape-shifting chameleon, and trust me, you'll see a lot in the time span of the villain as well. And what the villain does blows your mind as well. And I don't want to spoil too much into this. Is it the best movie out of them all? All of them are great, but this one had a little bit of a spark moment. And it's because the new character, the fox, I don't want to get too much into it, but I did see a lot of people say they didn't have time to invest in the characters and stuff like that. Yes, it did. I don't know if they were smoking something. If they were smoking something while watching it, you see a lot of backstory with the new character. And investing on travel with Paul. And this is great. It's great because they have loads of encounters. You see another side. And I thought it was more of a connection than more than a friendship, actually. But, it gives you a lot of time to invest in. I don't know what people are talking about. That scene with the little bunnies and stuff like that, I won't get into it, but it is funny as well. You can't pass this up. They really took things to another level, with this movie. I'm trying to explain it into words because I'm actually shocked. See, the scene there, what you see in the trailer, this trailer's bit, that's the bit, but there's more to it. And trust me, the villain is probably one of the best villains there is. It is, when it gets started. But the new character, the fox, I'm just going to say a fox because I don't want to spoil too much, because if I say the name, you see, that's why I'm not saying a lot of names of the characters as well, because if I say one name, oh yeah, you know. But you'll know who I'm talking about. You've seen in the picture. She's great. She's really good in this. She's really good. And I'm surprised because I'm like, oh, they are going for a different approach. And yes, I haven't talked about it. Jack Black as, Poe. He's just fantastic. He's just fantastic in this. There's nothing I could say wrong. I wasn't cringing or anything like that. It was silly, it was fun, and it's colourful. Let me tell you something. Just because I'm a real, reality here. If you're having a hard day at work or your personal life things, this movie will make you laugh and smile because, okay, fair enough, the characters are not in this scenario, but they get mentioned a number of times. And this is what a lot of people don't say to you in a non-spoiler. That's why I'm telling you this now. And I think you see an Easter egg as well. And a few things being mentioned, like breaking the fourth wall kind of situation, which is kind of funny in this as well. Yeah, and the scene when he's sitting in the tree, what you see there, and what's in the trailer, I laughed. I literally laughed. I get it. I understand investing in characters. If you watch right to the end of the end crediting scenes, I would say, you will see why this movie was made the way it was for them characters not to be in it. You see it. So, here's my thing. What are people complaining about? And this is what got my goal. So I said, I really want to see it early. And obviously, I got to see it early, surprisingly enough. And I'm quite shocked. I've seen all the Kung Fu Panda movies, and I'm quite shocked of how good this movie really is. I'm actually stuttering, as well. The characters you see in the background are mostly in, and you invest in them too. And if you watch right to the end, in the end credits, I promise you'll get your answers. The problem is, now, I've mentioned a little bit about the movie and not spoil it, so I won't mention that anymore. But I gotta mention something else now, a little bit off topic. Because I've noticed that criticism, I can't say that right, so I say criticize, because of my accent. When people criticize movies, it's normal. It's perfectly normal. But I think it's getting overused too much lately by some of the reviewers. When it's good movies as well, it's getting way too overused. And it's coming off as a shaking your shoulders, overly toxic, complaining. It is. When you use criticism, see, I can't say it right, so I say criticize. When you criticize in a movie, it's for the right reasons, because it's for the healthier reasons. People are overusing it, and it feels inner hatred. It feels inner hatred. And I'm not talking about this movie. No, I'm talking about basic level, which I might get into another video, because this is about Kung Fu Panda. But I think, and I think they're just complaining for complaining's sake, you know, because they have to complain. You know, if they're a movie reviewer, they think they have to complain about something all the time, and they're using that as a criticism. Excuse me. Yes, I burped, okay? I ate something while I was watching Kung Fu Panda. But they're coming off as a narc. I hate to say it, I'm sorry. I've just seen that too much on YouTube. I've seen it, and the gaslighting is horrible. What has movie reviewers have come to? I think here's a harsh reality, okay? So you're saying, so what's this got to do with Kung Fu Panda 4? I'll get to that. I saw a reviewer saying the top worst movies in 2023. Now this is just one, for example. And they put Stray Dogs in. I'm like, well, I enjoyed that movie. Right? Let's see what they have to say. The criticizing, I went, that's just logic. They basically said why it was the worst movie in 2023, Stray Dogs, because there was too much swearing, foul language, and toilet humour. I'm sorry, did they actually mention that before it got released? Yes. Yes, they did. Did they mention it in the trailers of the behind the scenes? Yes, they did. It was going to be over the top, potty mouth, swearing. You know, I know that's a different movie compared to this, but I went, is that criticism? And then it got worse from then, and not from that YouTuber, other ones too. And they coming out saying, fans are being toxic. Give me a break. That is so filtered. We are all toxic, okay? There's just some people that's overly toxic. And you know what those ones are? Over-possessed, delusional, narc fans of franchises who don't appreciate the finer classics in movies. They want more and more and more. And there'll be more. There'll be like, for example, Scream 59. You know, it'd be stuff like that. If the fans, if delusional fans had their own way, there'd be movies like that every single year. Low budget as well. I just think they're coming off as a delusional, and that, so I just started to unsubscribe to them, and I'm saying, you know what, I'm going to do my own thing here. It is. So you're asking yourself, what's this got to do with Kung Fu Panda 4? Well, I'll tell you, because there's some people that's actually reviewed this movie, and they're telling you to not go and watch it. They're saying it's the least. It's the least of the movie. How? Like, because the other characters is not in it, apparently. Newsflash, I don't think they were listening. I think they were just sitting there thinking in their minds what they're going to say in the video when they get back home. I think that's what they're doing in 2024. I really think a lot of them are doing that now. Not everybody, but a lot of them are, you know, like the top ones. It is. So, where they say, well, you can't take the criticism, then don't do it, you know what I'm saying? But that's not what I'm saying, because I can't take the criticism if it's on the right standards, you know. But I think it's just getting overused too much, unnecessary at parts, you know, and there's movies that needs that criticism. And if you don't criticize that movie right, people just gonna look at you and say, I agree, I'm a yes man. Like, you know, and this is what it came to with Kung Fu Panda 4. And it hasn't even been released worldwide. It hasn't. So that's why I'm putting this in this video. Because he's saying is, because the other characters not really in it, you know. But I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it for you guys. I don't. You need to see this classic yourself. It's a classic. It is a classic. It's fun. It's enjoyable. It's a laughable for the whole family. Is there scary scenes in? Yeah, of course there is. You know, there is. And, you know, you see a backstory of a new character, you know, as well. And Paul realizes at the end of the day, he has to hand over the torch to someone else, you know, and I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing to show the emotion of Paul in this scenario. That's the story as well. I won't get more into the story because that will contain spoilers, of course. But don't listen to these top, watch it yourself. I'm telling you, watch it. This might be the best. This might be the best because the story can carry on. Now, I can't say more than that because it'll spoil the movie, you know. But if you watch it, you'll understand. And you'll say, why did that reviewer say that? Because they're thinking in their minds to complain about something before they even do the video. They don't listen, right? I think this is going to be a brutal, honest truth because I don't have an internet personality, see? I don't. I don't. What you see is what you get, okay? Here's the hard truth. I think a lot of reviewers, not all, a lot, because I do like some reviewers, I think they've lost their touch on where they came from before coming a review on YouTube. I think they've lost their touch, and I think they've taken too much for granted. And I think they think they could be a leader and say, follow me. Do you agree? Yes, I agree, even though I haven't watched the movie. A yes man, like so. Like, do you understand what I'm talking about? So guys, go and enjoy the movie. And if you have seen the movie, what do you think of it? For the rating for this movie, I'm going to give it a 9.5. It really had everything in a small span. And the laughs were the smallest laughs, and they normally the biggest. You know, a 9.5 for me. I would have given it a 10 out of 10. I would have if there was just a fraction. It's just a fraction, like so, a little bit longer. I think this movie needed a little bit longer because you get so invested in it. You're like, oh, it's over, you know. But honestly, that's really nothing because we do that with a lot of movies that we enjoy, you know. It's common sense. So that's why I just give it a 9.5, you know. It is. But guys, what do you think? Let me know down in the comments below if you've seen it. This is fantastic. I would highly recommend go to the cinemas and watch it for yourself. And trust me, you'll enjoy it.